Hi there, I'm Laura, I'm here with Paul, and we're going to go through a little core stability warm-up and follow it with some more power ab exercises. So Paul's nice and relaxed in his neutral spine on the mat, and the feet are in line with the sit bones, and he just wants to get a light sense of sort of his background core muscles. So there's a lot of different images for that, but sometimes if you just think of a gentle internal lifting up of your low abdominals or a widening across the pelvis, these muscles are supposed to work really lightly. So he's just going to keep that light sense as he goes into letting both knees open out to the sides and coming back. And again, this is about efficiency. So it's an exercise that's more to warm up the hip sockets. It requires just a little bit of ab support. It's not an exercise where we would really want to bring the abdominals on at 100%. And then after a few of those, Paul's going to go into just letting one knee open, and the opposite abs will intensify a little bit to help stabilize the pelvis against that one leg rotating. So hopefully this is sort of wakening up or focusing on the background muscles a little bit. And he gets that nice easy opening and bringing it back. And at all levels of these exercises, it's about efficiency, so appropriate effort. This doesn't take a lot for the body to stabilize, so we wouldn't want to see the ribs pulling in or a breath holding action like Paul nicely demonstrated there. Okay, we can also take the arms straight up, and we're going to take the opposite arm and leg out to the side. Opening out and bringing back, and his torso staying nice and steady. And he's breathing through it, his back's nice and relaxed. And just giving you that sense that the spine and pelvis and rib cage are all staying relatively centered against that weight. Finishing this set off. Paul's going to rest his arms down, and we're just going to go into little foot lifts. So same theme, pelvis stays steady, low abs supporting, and Paul lifts one foot slightly off the floor. He touches it really lightly into the mat and takes the other foot off. Okay, and it's a way to get the abs to kick in to support the weight of the legs. And coming down. And you can put that supporting foot more and more gently into the mat, like you're trying not to create a footprint. Shouldn't feel anything in the back, and he's doing a great job of keeping the upper body relaxed. He'll finish this one off. And we're going to do the same thing, curled up into a little ab curl. So Paul's going to place the hands behind the head and curl up, leading with the forehead. We've still got that light support in the core. Maintaining that position, so now it's the upper abs holding him there, and he's going to take one foot off. And alternate sides, he can still breathe easily. And return. And again. Nice and steady and free. Okay, so overworking is also going to change the hips and movement everywhere else, or limit movement everywhere else. So we're going to get a little bit harder now. Paul's going to curl up, and then once we're out there, let's take the legs to tabletop. So lots of ab support to hold the legs at tabletop. Okay, let's reach the arms forward. Keeping the arms there, he's just going to extend both legs out. We'll do both legs. And fold it back in. You could do one leg at a time if you were trying to make it a little bit easier. If that feels like too much load, fold and let the thighs sink. And feel that sense that the abs respond by deepening and working harder when the legs are away. And they'll probably respond with a little bit less work as we come in. And we'll do two more there. Last one. And then he'll come in, lower the feet carefully down, and return the head back to the mat. That was beautifully performed. And we're just going to go into a plank exercise, onto all fours, and the same rules apply. So this is true for push-ups or anything in a plank, but we'll do the leg pull front, the Pilates exercise. And Paul's going to step into a plank position. His shoulders are working, of course, but they're really free here. If you can just do an example of what we don't want to see. We don't want to jam the shoulders down and pull the ribs up. We're going to keep the shoulders spread wide and kind of floating on the back. This has no choice but to work to keep the position, but he can still breathe, he can maintain that. And in this position, we're just going to lift one foot up, rock back, rock forward, and touch it down. And lift. Lots of support in the low tummy, but still a nice freedom. Good. You could almost play with how little support could I use but still maintain the position, right? And the idea that overgripping, overworking is as detrimental and problematic to the spine as would be having less support. And the same rules, can he breathe? Can he move his head or talk? Sure. And return, we'll do one last time this side. Lift and reach and lower down and relax. So there's a little example of how you could play with being aware of core stability where you're doing some power exercises. If you do feel it in your back, you can always go back to some more of those basic warm-up exercises that get your awareness of your core there before you go into the power stuff. Okay? Have fun with that. Let us know how you do.